if you feel as though you have to lean on your child to be the breadwinner, then there's something wrong with you.
I got every right how to talk, how I want.
Hey guys, I'm Jasmine Emerald, and today we're doing the first episode of Trending Topics, which is pretty much me talking about different topics that are trending. For today's episode, we're talking about children and teens who are forced to do YouTube channels, TikToks, and any kind of social media for monetary gain. Jennette McCurdy, the actress from iCarly and Sam and Cat, just recently released a book called I'm Glad My Mom Died, where she talks about her abusive mother and the situation she's put her through within forcing her to start a child career and become a child star to sustain the household. So as I was scrolling through Twitter, I came across this post in relation to Jennette McCurdy's situation where someone was sharing this Reddit post about this teenager who was going through a similar situation with her family. The teenager expressed that they were involved in a family YouTube channel that the family had started off when they were 13, and at the time of writing the post, they were 17 years old. They had expressed how they didn't really like the attention they were getting, the harassment, and just dealing with creepy comments. The family members, after they shared how they felt with them and shared that they didn't want to be on the channel anymore, they agreed to letting them, not do it, but in the same time, at the same breath, they would pretty much still keep them in the videos. So after, they constantly kept saying, yeah, I don't want to be included in these videos, and constantly being ignored by their family members, eventually they took matters into their own hands where they went on social media, created a new account, expressed, I'm so-and-so from this channel. I do not give consent to being in these videos. Please report any videos with me in them to be taken down because I do not want to be in them. And what would happen is a lot of people found their page. They ended up resonating and realizing like, yeah, this isn't fair to her. This, you shouldn't do this if your kid doesn't want to do this. And a lot of people reported the channel to the point where it got demonetized, and the parents were upset with the child and pretty much grounded them for doing so because they felt as though the child messed up their money. And yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So as for this story, I'm not exactly sure if this is in a popular opinion, but I do feel as though a lot of people have their children be the main focus of their YouTube channels, their TikTok channels. I will even go so far as to saying I do honestly feel like a lot of people have children specifically to monetize their kids. And I think that it's horrible to do so because if you want to have a kid, you should have one because you want to have them, not because you want to monetize them and profit from them because, the niche of, family life having kids is potentially profitable. It is not right to put children in situations they do not want to be in. In my personal opinion, I also think that it is not right for you to put your child on camera without, them becoming aware of what comes with being on camera, because there's so many different people out here in the world. There's so many different weird people. And to me, you're placing your child in a light and perspective where they could be scrutinized, criticized, harassed. There are creepy people online. I actually came across this TikTok that was shared on Twitter one day where this woman, she followed this toddler, like a specific toddler TikTok account, and it was basically a mother sharing different videos of her child doing different things. And one day she went to search for the child in the search bar, and she noticed it was a lot of inappropriate things attached to the child's name connected to it. It started to make her wonder, like, who is actually watching my child on these platforms? And it kind of deterred her from not even wanting to, post her own child because she started thinking about how there are so many different weird, creepy, dangerous people out here, and you just never know who could be watching your children. Now, I just feel that you do have to be very safe when it comes to posting your kids. The issue of child labor and exploitation is also a factor. I know whenever I upload a YouTube channel, you can actually see, I think it's on the last confirmation when you're about to post a video. I do believe they have a little excerpt where it says that they don't allow people to exploit or do anything related to child labor. However, I do feel as though a lot of family channels may do something of the sort, or may, make their kids do these different pranks or be in these different videos where they don't have a regular childhood and everything is performative, where they are pretty much working, but they are not understanding that they are working. It also is unfortunate because it leads kids to not have a normal childhood upbringing where it could affect the way they view the world, the way they see things. I mean, if you guys think about it, there are so many children that want to do YouTube, but it's like, I mean, why do you want to do YouTube? Is it because you see other YouTubers doing it? Is it because you want to do it because you see mom doing it, or you're being recorded all the time? So you're like, yeah, I want to go into this lifestyle and this is all that I know, you know? It is very selfish and inconsiderate of parents to do this to their children, especially if they're supposed to be, nurturing them and raising them into being good people. It is unfair to them, and it's taking away the child's choice of what they want and what type of life they want to live, and just taking away their innocence of just developing in a normal childhood that doesn't involve everything that comes with social media, pretty much. The factor that there becomes this normality that every single moment that you experience in life has to be recorded could also be problematic, where a child is constantly connected to their phone, recording every moment, not really enjoying life. I know I even see so many different adults and grown-ups going through this thing where they feel like they have to record things. Like, I remember before Coco came around and all these different viruses came around, I recall when we would go dancing, my boyfriend and I with our friends, and I remember being kind of annoyed because, we would just be dancing on the floor, but there would always be someone in my way or standing like somewhere near me while I'm trying to dance, and they're pretty much smiling, recording, and then one moment they stop recording, they're like, it just seems like it's all for show, because their whole face would change and it would just turn into a let me post this and then let me just keep drinking. And it's like, but where's the energy that you had in that video you just posted, bruh? That could be very problematic of trying to uphold this lifestyle, and a lot of kids may not understand that a lot of times social media is just for show, or they might develop this perfectionism where it's like things have to appear perfect even though they are not perfect, Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all family channels are bad. I'm not saying all children-focused channels are bad, like the YouTube videos where children are opening toys or playing with them. I don't necessarily think it's bad. However, I do feel like if they're being forced to do so and to do performative acts of work when they are children and they should not be doing this type of labor, I do feel like it is unfair, it is inappropriate, it is illegal, I'm not exactly sure how many people actually have these family channels where everything is very forced, not performative, where they could be behind the cameras like, I'm gonna beat you if you don't, or if you don't do this, then you won't get this, The way social media is, it is very toxic when you think about how everything has to be recorded. I cannot tell y'all how many times I have seen people record their children going through these different motions that should be private, or different experiences that should not be put on camera and posted to the public. It is very embarrassing, very belittling sometimes, where people's parents will embarrass them and showcase things that they do, when it's like, you should do things privately and do not put your kids on blast in a way in which it could cause them potential mental health problems, where it's like they're dealing with people bullying them because of something you made or something you posted, or people randomly harassing them on the internet, or just putting them in situations that no child should necessarily go through. I mean, social media itself is a very overwhelming place, in my opinion. I know Raven Elyse, she actually has a podcast where she mentioned how, the brain, like, it was a study that she read or something like that, where she was talking about how the brain cannot process the amount of stimulation that comes with social media, where it's really negative. And a lot of people, I understand that people may want to monetize their life or make money off of it, but when you bring a child into a situation where it's something that they don't want to do, or it's just the fact that they don't have the capacity to comprehend what comes with social media, it is very unfortunate, and it shouldn't be done. Whenever you post children, you do have to handle it with caution. You do have to also be mindful of the fact that this is a child and they should not be working in the first place. If you feel as though you have to lean on your child to be the breadwinner, then there's something wrong with you. In my personal opinion, it's like, yeah, you may want to make ends meet, but putting all this pressure on a child will cause them to have other issues, which could lead them into, doing different vices that would not be beneficial for their physical, mental, emotional, overall well-being. I feel like that's why so many kids that were in Disney or on Nickelodeon, when they grew up at that young age dealing with all the pressures that came with being in the media, that's why they went down the wrong path. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some people who did not go down a path where they experienced different drawbacks, but a lot of children who are child actors did end up dealing with the overwhelming pressures of Hollywood, or just being scrutinized in the public eye, and it is a lot to deal with. And just the overall pressure of trying to make money and make sure your family is good is also a problem too. A child is not supposed to be the breadwinner. They are just supposed to be growing. They did not ask to be here. As a parent, parents should, take care of their children and not rely on them to take care of them as kids. I also have to mention that this also reminds me of the exploitation of animal channels, because I do feel as though there are a variety of different YouTube channels that I come across where they would have different pets, and they would have different videos solely on these pets, and the pets would have like hundreds of thousands or even millions of followers, or people would follow them. I remember I came across this one channel one day. While I was watching mukbangs, I came across this one channel, and it was a dog channel. It was a pit bull. And I'm like, what is this? And it was basically a pit bull eating different meals in every single video. Messed up my whole algorithm, y'all. But I ended up realizing that, I just became a dog owner recently, like within the past year or two. I did not know that when it comes to dogs, you're only supposed to feed them a certain diet. You're not supposed to change their diet. And me seeing this YouTube channel, all this made me think is, this dog is probably going to have a lot of internal intestinal issues because their diet changes so much, and they do it all for views. It's the same thing when I see different influencers who have dog pages and they're promoting different, treats and snacks and stuff like that because they're sponsored. But all I'm thinking of is are you really giving your dog all these different treats like that? Because technically, I don't think you're supposed to be doing that unless you're just doing it just for the paycheck, But yeah, all in all, I'm saying all this to say, I feel like as a parent, you should want to protect your kids, not abuse them. You should want to keep them from scrutiny, and kids should be kids. They should not be working, and they should not be taking the place of where you're supposed to have a job. You know, it is not a kid's job to take care of the parent. It is the parent's job to take care of the kid. And that's just how I feel about it. What do y'all think? You know, let me know what y'all thoughts are on this in the comment section down below. Check out my other trending topic videos because I will be back soon with another one. All right, bye.